Hello fellow anime enjoyers, my name is Yan and today I'll be ranking every single Studio Ghibli movie, except the 50 minutes long shorts that none of us have watched. Ghibli movies, and especially the ones directed by Hayao Miyazaki, have been part of my life since I was a child until today. I love the studio. It's the reason I started watching anime and this channel exists. I created this tier list, link in description, which has 6 tiers. Masterpiece, the ones I'm sure I'll remember as some of my favorite anime movies of all time. Very good, with 3 exclamation marks. Pretty nice, okayish, kinda mid, aka bad. Nowadays, mid is a synonym to bad, and terrible, just for decoration, cause there is no such thing as a terrible Ghibli movie. According to my lawyers, 100% of you aren't subscribed, so please do it right now, or else Obama might kill you this night. Let's begin with the first anime movie I've ever seen, Spirited Away. Directed by Miyazaki, it's probably the most popular and successful Ghibli movie. For a long time I thought it was my first anime ever, but a while ago I found out that a lot of old cartoons that I used to watch were made in Japan, so basically I watch anime since I was born. Anyways, it's a fantastic movie and it's very important to mark my weeb career. Masterpiece. I just can't. The nostalgic factor is too much, and it's a very strange and beautiful movie itself. The second entry I'm going to rank is Howl's Moving Castle, my second anime movie after Spirited Away. I was 10 years old when I saw this one, and at the time I thought it was better than Spirited Away. Nowadays I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I still love it. It's an amazing concept and many would classify it as a masterpiece of anime, and I can clearly see why. Now let's move on from the nostalgic ones and talk about some of the movies I've watched recently. Pom Poko, for example. It's a story about some Japanese raccoon dogs that live in a mountain that's being destroyed by the humans, so they transform into stuff like humans, objects, animals, whatever this is, in a very curious way and try to stop them. This may sound kinda weird, and it is, but I really liked it. I liked the way the story was told, occasionally using a narrator and spanning many chronological years into a 2-hour movie. I thought that was cool, and the characters and their different ideals and perspectives were entertaining to see. I loved the music that played during the haunting plan. I think Pom Poko is a bit underrated, it deserves a better rating. Very good. Kiki's Delivery Service. It was a very enjoyable movie. I liked the characters, the plot wasn't outstanding, but decent enough, and I never got bored while watching, so that's good. Some details and scenes were quite interesting and creative, but I don't have much to talk about this one. Pretty nice. Next we have Earwig and the Witch. Earwig is a little different from other Ghibli movies. It's made with the so infamous 3D CGI. The animation reminded me a little of Heidi cartoon. I actually think the movie is entertaining, maybe because I chose the Portuguese dub and me and my sister just kept making fun and laughing at every little detail. This actually had potential. The idea was nice and the characters were funny, but my main problem with the movie is how it ends. It builds up into a moment where you would expect it to start the real conflict and the crazy things to happen, but it suddenly just ends. There is so much that could have been done with the house and Earwig trying to escape it, but it finished with a very unsatisfying ending. Mid. Now let's talk about From Up on Poppy Hill. I really wasn't expecting it to be as good as it was. The cover pic looks very bland and boring, so I started with very low expectations. And I was very surprised to find a pleasant movie with a decent plot, an amusing atmosphere, very likable characters, and it made me want to join them and be there in this awesome and chaotic fun building. The end was good, although I thought the main problem with the relationship between the 2 lead characters was solved kinda abruptly and in a rather confusing way. The secondary characters were so nice and I love their designs. I'm sure I'll be rewatching this someday in the future. Very good. I love it. Tales from Earthsea. Most people would just put it at the lowest tier possible, but I thought it was actually a nice movie. I didn't really dislike anything from it. The animation was great as usual, the characters were nice, and the plot wasn't that bad either. It may be a little bland for a lot of people, but I enjoy it for what it is. Pretty nice. Oh, the tale of the Princess Kaguya. I'm sure many of you might disagree with me, but it wasn't all that good. Sure, it had a beautiful and unique art style, brilliant animation, a great story, and I could almost throw this at very good, but the ending didn't really eat for me. I felt like the progression of the story was very nice, but the last 20 or 30 minutes started to make me a little tired. Maybe my expectations were too high. Pretty nice. Wait, no, actually, very good. I don't care. Talking about being cancelled, get ready again, because The Whisper of the Heart is the worst Ghibli movie I've ever seen. It was just so boring. It started so well with beautiful music. That was probably the only part that I liked. I almost fell asleep while watching. It was very slow and I wasn't interested at all in the characters and the drama. Wasn't that bad, probably just totally not my type at all. Now the spin-off, The Cat Returns. You would expect me to also give this a bad score, but I actually appreciate it a lot. It kinda was what I thought Whisper of the Heart would be like, more fantasy elements and less drama and slow-paced romance. But The Cat Returns was a compelling, simple and functional story with good characters and overall just a very fun time. Very good. The Secret World of Arrietty. I don't know if I pronounced that right, but... The visuals and backgrounds, the music and the exploration part in the beginning, it was all very interesting, especially the part when Arrietty and her dad tried to get the sugar. I thought it was great, but got a bit irritating. I disliked the main antagonist, and I think it was a little stupid and generic. The main guy was also kinda dumb and annoying sometimes. Cool, but not that cool, okay-ish. Remember when I said every single Studio Ghibli movie? Well, I was lying. I haven't watched My Neighbours the Yamadas, so this will be the only one in the NA tier. Next, Grave of the Fireflies. Oh man, this is definitely one of the few Ghibli movies that almost got me crying. This is a heavy, dark and sad movie about war. Very emotional and stuck me to the screen the entire movie. I watched it with my mother and she thought it was really good. People usually place this just a little above mid tiers, but I think it's one of the best. Masterpiece tier, no doubt. Let's get rid of the negative feelings and let's talk about Ponyo. Ponyo is a true peak wholesome Ghibli movie with mesmerizing visuals and backgrounds, as well as a magical and happy story with cool characters and a beautiful world. I saw the movie in 3 sessions of 30 minutes each. The first one was absolutely amazing and I was loving it. The second was really good, but the third I was already kinda tired, so it went down from very good to pretty nice. It's still a movie that I absolutely recommend you to check if you haven't already. The amazing Castle in the Sky. I've rewatched it recently, like a year ago, I don't know, not really recent, but yeah. I really love this one. There's a part in the middle that's too slow, but in general it's a great adventure. Reminds me a bit of Future Boy Conan. I will rank it at very good, but the best one in this tier. The end was so amazing. Let me just adjust here the... Let me just do this like here. That's better, I guess. Anyways, next we have Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind. In theory, this isn't a Ghibli movie since it was made before the studio's creation, but many consider it as one of them. It even got in some Ghibli collections and it was directed by the co-founder of the studio. I saw this a big while ago, almost 2 years. The start was very slow and it was, for a long time, my least favorite Ghibli movie. Now it's not even close to the bottom. It's a nice film with a curious world. The music was also a big positive point. I'm going to place it at pretty nice, but a year ago I would have put this a tier below. Okay, I'm ready to get killed again. When Marnie was there, it's just okay. I know there are a lot of big fans. I have one in my own family, but it just didn't feel any special to me. It was a little bland and nothing really impressed me that much, to be honest. The visuals were very good though, as always. I'm sorry, but this is where it belongs. Now, The Wind Rises. I think it's my favorite Studio Ghibli movie ever. It was a very emotional movie with one of the greatest characters of all time. Not everyone will agree with me on this one because it's more due to my personal experience. I related a lot to the main character. I felt like I was him while watching the movie. It's one of my favorite characters of all time. Miyazaki truly created a masterpiece in his last movie. Satomi is also an amazing character, and yes, it's mine! Both are in my favorites. This is super underrated, and it also shows how much Miyazaki loves planes. Absolute masterpiece. Ocean Waves. Okay, this was just a decent movie, nothing more. Normal teenage drama like stealing money, flying away without your parents' authorization, slapping your friends in the face. Normal stuff, you know. Jokes aside, this is the definition of an okay movie. It wasn't boring, but had nothing worthy of being remembered. I'll just put this here. My Neighbour Totoro. What a classic. Also one of the most popular Ghibli movies. It's a fun, lighthearted and wholesome story. I don't remember anything relevant to talk about Totoro, but I'll just say that I enjoyed it a lot. To Studio Ghibli's logo, pretty nice. Next up we have Porco Rosso, another movie about planes directed by Miyazaki. Between Porco Rosso and The Wind Rises, I definitely prefer the second option. I don't remember much about it, but I do remember that I liked the movie and the main characters were very nice. So let's just get rid of this and go into the next one. Only Yesterday. Curiously, I just saw this yesterday. Funny coincidence, get it? It's a pretty average slice of life, doesn't really have a story, it's just a movie telling the life of a 27-year-old woman who tells her stories from when she was a kid. Even though it was average, I appreciated some aspects. I've never seen some of the themes included here in any other anime. Another relevant thing is the facial expressions. Sometimes they seem kinda strange, like this one. The girl looks like she's 60 years old. I really like this dude's expressions. A considerably large part of the film was boring. Okay. Last one, Princess Mononoke. This is a very special movie to me. September 14, 2 years ago, I bought Netflix for the first time. One day after getting Netflix, I decided to watch it because it was from the same studio and director from Spirited Away and Howl's Moving Castle. That night, everything changed. When I finished the movie, I felt empty. I felt sadness. Why couldn't it last forever? I kept depressed and thinking about the movie for almost 3 entire days. To fill up my heart again, I searched for other anime, and that's how I started watching Japanese animation. I rewatched it a few months ago. It wasn't as emotional as the first time, but still awesome. Masterpiece. That concludes the tier list. I hope you enjoyed it. Tell me what's your opinion and what would you change in this tier list. I'll be doing more tier list videos on this channel, so if you want to give some cool ideas, just leave a comment. That also helps YouTube recommending my channel. Thanks for watching. See you next time.